use him correctly, this guy could be dominant for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Playing with his old college quarterback in Jalen Hurts. Mike T, you're next. Vikings linebacker Anthony Barr believes the Vikings can win the Super Bowl. Believe it or not.
Not. Greedy, they were 27th in defensive efficiency last year. Outside of Anthony Barr and Danielle Hunter, who's going to rush the passer? Is it third-round pick Patrick Jones? I'm really worried about this Viking defense. We talked about Justin Jefferson. They should be good on offense. I just don't see it on defense.
It's going to be interesting. If Rodgers isn't there, that division feels wide open. We'll see what happens. Jeff Saturday, coming back to you. Ryan Fitzpatrick says the Washington offense, this one is for Darlington. Ryan Fitzpatrick says the Washington offense will be tough to defend. Believe it or not. Jeff.
Sure, I do believe it. Look, you've made some additions in Curtis Samuel and Adam Humphries, and in those comments, Ryan Fitzpatrick also said that Scott Turner's offense, the offensive coordinator there, does things to attack a defense different than Fitzpatrick has done in the past. I love the idea of it, but with Fitzpatrick, you just really, truly never know, Greeny.
Well, that's the interesting thing. And anyone who watches this show knows I'm buying in a big way in Washington this year. And the quarterback is part of the reason. Jeff Saturday, how about you? Are you buying Washington's offense being tough to stop this year?
No, I'm buying a team. I'm buying you, Greedy. I'm buying the team is going to be good, but I'm going to put the emphasis on the defense. Jack Del Rio, Rivera, they understand how to win games defensively. They understand offensively. I love that Fitzpatrick's jumping in and saying, hey, we're going to be this type of offense. Ultimately, this team runs through that front seven on the defense. So if we're going to give compliments and throw some big predictions, let's make sure we put the emphasis on the right portion of the team.
I'm with that. Look, the main reason that I like Washington so much is their defense, of course. But let me just give you the numbers.
Yes.
Over the last 3 seasons, Ryan Fitzpatrick has a higher completion percentage than Tom Brady. He has more yards per pass attempt than Russell Wilson, a higher touchdown percentage than Dak Prescott, and a higher total QBR than Deshaun Watson. I mean, he's just flat out been really good the last 3 years. Why Jeff, is anyone unwilling? Why, Jeff Saturday, are you unwilling to buy into that?
Because it could be a 5-interception day. You never. It could be heroics, and it also could be tanked. So, this is how stats can just, they can just, throw the wave on you, right? All of a sudden you're like, oh, look at this stat and this stat. Ultimately, games are won and lost by the turnover battle. And he will have some games where he gives 2 or 3, which can totally throw the game to the other football team. So as I look at it, I still have caution. I'm cautiously optimistic, but still caution on the offensive side of that football team.
Mike, I'm not even looking in your direction because I know, but here's the thing. They had the 32nd highest, the lowest QBR in the entire sport last year. They had the worst quarterback play in the sport last year and won an admittedly bad division because of that great defense. If Fitzpatrick can just be mediocre, if he can just be halfway there, then I think all of a sudden this team is that dangerous.
I think they'll be dangerous, but I think over 17 games, Dak Prescott has a chance to be an A. And I just think at the end of the day, Ryan Fitzpatrick is a B who could turn the ball over. And Green, not to throw shade on you, but last year Washington was 3-7 outside the division. So even though they had this great defense and terrible quarterback play, there is some context here. They will be better, but at the end of the day, I'm going with the better, younger, more athletic quarterback, Dak Prescott, and it is the offseason, so we can talk about the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And your Washington team, I think at some point there'll be some critical turnovers.
All right, we have to make some sort of wager on that as we work our way closer to it. More on that as we go. Meanwhile, on Planet Earth, which is brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Did you see this video? What did the former general manager and you think, Tannenbaum, as we watched Lamar Jackson on the basketball court practicing football routes with local kids? Did this worry you at all?
100%. I'm nervous just watching it now. I'm sure Eric DeCosta and John Harbaugh, we love them. We love what Lamar's doing, but non-football injury, don't get hurt, sign the big contract, donate to charity, be there for the kids. Don't do this.
All right, fair enough. So that is the football that's taking place on the basketball court. Let's get to the basketball that'll be taking place tonight, the critical Game 4 of the NBA Finals on ABC, and Cassidy Hubbarth is here. Let's run the floor to begin with some of the big things that we have our eyes on tonight. What are the keys the fans should be thinking about?
Greeny, he's human. That's what Mike Budenholzer said about Devin Booker's 3 of 14 night from the floor. He also said he fully expects a good Devin Booker game in Game 4, rather. And Book said he has to have a short memory, and he and CP gathered in Chris Paul's hotel room. They went over tape. It's something they do in Phoenix because they live on the same street together. And really, DeAndre Ayton said it's pretty scary, his demeanor heading into this game. Now, a scary thing for the Suns is Ayton off the floor. And he said he was frustrated by the foul trouble he had in Game 3. And he said it's not going to change his aggression in Game 4. Monty Williams, though, said he doesn't really know how to advise him how to get out of foul trouble if guys are running into him. He says that he needs to not brace contact, rather, because that's how he gets into foul trouble. As far as the overall game plan against Giannis, cue Stan Van Gundy. They're trying to build a freaking wall because it's like facing a running back coming down at them. Giannis said that he takes the Giannis wall as a compliment. And here's what he has to say about their defensive plan against him going forward.
Once I started seeing the wall 2 years ago, now it's about, trust. And it's kind of hard, because you want to be effective, you want to get downhill. Then you take it personal. A team that's building a wall of 3 people and 2 guys behind or whatever the case might be and trying to stop you, now you have to not take it personal and make the right play, find the right guy. But I will always a capable passer before the wall is created. Which is funny that there's a defense out there called the Giannis wall. It's funny to me, so it's crazy.
All right, so we had the Jordan rules, and now we have the Giannis wall, Cass, which is an interesting point. And there's the man who's going to explain to us exactly what it means. Vince Carter getting up with us earlier here. So when you hear that, Giannis, they're building a wall against him defensively. He's had 40 points in each of the last 2 games. What's the key for him tonight?
Well, first of all, Greeny, Cassidy, I got to say this. Giannis needs to know that wall has been there for a while. As I was in the league and having the guard is, I was looking for that guy on my left, that guy on my right to build that wall as well. It's kind of like LeBron. When Giannis gets downhill, I need bodies there. And then it's like, you're going to who's the sacrificial lamb? Who's the guy we're going to you say, hey, he's going to get the shots. He's going to be the one. Because, with Giannis, you have to put multiple bodies on him because you cannot play him one-on-one. You can't play him one-on-one because when he does, he puts your guys in foul trouble. He puts your bigs in foul trouble. So now we're going to say we're going to put somebody there and we're going to let role players have to beat us and we're going to live with it.
Yeah, and we'll see if those, and again, the role players in this case could be Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday, so these are all-star caliber players.
Well, Greeny, I'm talking about more like a Pat Connaughton.
Yeah.
You somebody like that. You PJ Tucker. You want those guys who aren't used to being the go-to guys. Those are the guys we're saying, hey, when we double or when we build that wall, we close out a little slower to those guys because we don't want Giannis to get in our paint.
And Giannis said something about, you just say it's been around for a while. He said he's been seeing it for now 2 years. And at first, like he said, he took it personally. But now he feels good about it because he feels good about his playmaking and trusting his teammates. And
you said something to us in our meeting this morning also that Giannis said about playing through his weaknesses.
Yeah.
What is that?
We had this conversation, obviously, on Monday about, once Giannis realizes he should play more like Shaq than Kobe, then his superpowers will be unleashed. Well, he was asked about it, not specifically that reference, but more about focusing his game. And he talked about really how he wants to evolve his game by feeling comfortable in his own skin. And in order to do that, it's by playing through his weaknesses. Now, he didn't say necessarily he plans to play through his weaknesses in the NBA Finals, but it's certainly something that he wants to carry over to the regular season. Now, he did not say that because we have seen him, kind of rely sometimes on shooting threes and jump shots throughout these playoffs. But what we're seeing in these finals, just in Game 3, he didn't have a made field goal outside the paint. But I want to ask you this, Vince. You had the longest career in NBA history. So when you think about Giannis, what is the quote-unquote right